how do you know if you're in an emotional or mentally abusive relationship? And what steps do I need to take to get out of it if I am?
Yeah. I hate to hear that.
Yeah.
It saddens me to hear that.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like we
heavy.
were just talking about that, like God designed us for secure and safe connection.
Mm,
And so, like to this listener, I'm like, oh, this sucks.
yeah.
Sucks a lot.
Yeah. I think God designed us for connection, but it
Mhm.
still takes me to that place of like, but we're still imperfect people,
Yeah.
um, still making mistakes, still living in sin.
Hmm. I think I saw a really good diagram by John Cloud and Henry Townsend. They talk about the four corners of connection, right? The first corner being no connection, the second corner being bad connection. So the first is we have no connection or relationships whatsoever. And then the second one is that we have really bad connections and connections that are not healthy, but it's better than nothing, right? We end up doing things that we don't want to do, or we tend to feel worse about ourselves than we did before, but we know we want it because we're around people and that's what we need. And then the third is pseudo connection, something that looks like real connection, but really isn't. I think of my high school relationships. There's a lot of times I'm like, we're the best friends ever. But then I realized that this person wasn't really healthy for me. Like it felt good at the time, but then wasn't helpful. I realized that it was changing me into somebody that I didn't want to be. And then there's secure connection, the fourth corner. And we'll go throughout all these different corners all the different times, right? But the fourth corner is really where God desires us to be, where our parental connections are supposed to be, where our relationships with our wives, with our spouses, our husbands, and our best friends, right? This is connection where it's safe. I can be vulnerable. I can be who I am, and it's accepted and cared for and delighted upon.
Right. Yeah. I remember in college learning the mental picture with the circles.
Yeah.
I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, but the circles with the relationships, your like core relationships, and then another circle and another one kind of all the way to like your acquaintances and people you kind of a little bit know. And it being just so interesting to me, that mental picture of, your people.
Yeah. Yeah. And so to go back to the question is like, how do I figure out if I'm in an emotionally abusive one, like something that would be on that second corner or the third corner, right? Or maybe how should I shift this person out of from being friends to an acquaintance, right? So they don't have as much influence on me. I think just diagnostically, think questions that you can ask yourself is why am I hanging out with this person? Right? What am I getting from this relationship? Not saying that relationships should all be about us getting something from somebody, right? But am I getting life from this person or am I getting death? Right? Those are pretty big categories. But am I being filled up? Am I enjoying myself? Am I growing in relationship with this person? Or are they tearing me down? Do I feel like I'm like a really bad person when I go away from that person? What is that answer? What's the answer to that question?
Yeah, I even think about the isolation piece
Mm,
in abusive relationships, and being able to kind of bring people into your circle and not be isolated, where they can maybe
mm,
even call it out with you. Having
mhm,
those people that you can talk to who can mentor you through that.
mhm. Yeah, and I think another good like diagnostic question for like friendships especially is this relationship two-sided? And so kind of looking at am I the one giving everything to this relationship or are they taking everything or is this mutual? Right? And throughout life there'll be different relationships where we have a differing level of that, right? But it should not be out of whack. It should not be 20 80, right? That's not how God designed a relationship.